Welcome back. We are here at Hunter's Entertainment at twitch.tv. We wish to welcome all of you to our very own Rag and Bone campaign using the system Outbreak Undead. If you've journeyed alongside us in the past, you know that the campaign world that we are working within is a dark and dangerous place, full of realistic threats, situations that don't follow the same tenets of certain games that offer you candy-coated opportunities for safety and security. There are no magical swords that can save the day. There are no castles to hide within when the dragons fly overhead. Here, the choices that you make can be deadly. Turning down the wrong path can end not only your life, but the life of those that you are traveling with. All around, you are fraught with danger. So as you can tell from what I've said to this point, choices are what this game is about. And each of the players here at this virtual table with me have made quite a few choices. It has been a number of weeks now, and we have watched the culmination of each of these characters' stories as they have grown and flourished in front of us. And I have told all of you, our faithful listeners, that there was a traitor here amongst us. Someone that could not be trusted. A liar. Dangers unseen. If you were with us at the previous session, you will know that that secret has now been revealed. And we will explore that tonight. We're very thankful that you are with us, and we appreciate you working past all of the technical difficulties that we've had this evening, but we promise you, the story that we are about to undertake will be well worth the wait. I'd like to begin by introducing you to each of the players. We are very thankful for their time and their talents. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves in the real world. We entreat you to follow them on social media, and to pay close attention to everything that they're doing. It is well worth your time. Additionally, they're going to talk about the characters that they've chosen to play. And as always, here playing Outbreak Undead, we have spoken together about safety barriers, what our limitations are, where our boundaries lie. And we've taken this consideration and brought it to you as well. We have some amazing moderators in the chat now, and we wish to thank them for everything that they do for the Hunters Entertainment community. They will give you the content warnings that you need to know. We do hope that you will stay with us, but we do not wish to deceive you. This game can become very dark. Without further ado, Markia, would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and who you'll be playing tonight?
I am Markia McCarty. I work here at Hunters Entertainment and in very fun roles, including RPG ones. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty, on Discord and Twitch at Darth Markia. And if you enjoy animated horror series, check out Something Scary on YouTube. And if you enjoy podcasts, you can check out the Something Scary podcast, our Shadow Diaries. You can binge a number of episodes now for both, including the full season of Shadow Diaries right now, wherever you listen to your podcasts. As far as upcoming RPG shows, then yes, Tuesday nights here at Hunters Entertainment, and another night coming up possibly that will be disclosed in time. And along with that, I will be doing something with Roll20 that will be coming up that I will be able to talk more about later.
Thank you again for being with us, Markia.
And I play Achira Sampson, who is blameless for everything, and everyone should just leave her alone, let her live.
Achira has gone through quite a bit in her journey to this point. She's lost much, and the memory of her brother still haunts her. She has found friends and allies amongst the other survivors that are currently locked within this bunker with her, but I cannot help but wonder, what is she willing to do to survive in this moment, because there is no easy escape. You are deep under the ground. There are no more than one solid exit point. A single door stands between you and freedom, and Achira is someone who has spent her entire life running, to the detriment of those who have in the past called her friend, family, ally. We shall see. Michelle, would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and the character that you will be playing?
My name's Michelle and Bradley. I play here on Tuesdays at Hunters Entertainment. I'm also on the official Paizo Twitch channel on Wednesdays with their Pathfinder Beginner Box show, which runs till the end of this month, and then the season ends. So go check that out tomorrow night. I am also in the newly announced show with the Pathfinder and Savage Worlds collaboration set as part of the Kickstarter to promote it, and that starts sometime this month soon. But it's very exciting stuff, and that's all over on my Twitter at I am Chubby Bunny. Tonight I am playing Juniper Song, and sometimes the other one, and I don't know. Let's not get it now. Never mind. I'm playing Juniper Song, and some bad stuff happened last week with her. Oops. The end.
If you are confused by that introduction, allow me to tell you that I promise all will be explained shortly. And Juniper's story from the very beginning has been one that has been shrouded in mystery. There have been incidents that we have witnessed, and now we must question what is truth and what is a lie. Luis, you have returned to us. Would you like to tell everyone who has joined us tonight about yourself and about the character that you will be portraying?
Yes, indeed. I'm Luis Carrazzo, and I'm here Tuesday nights. Sometimes I'm on TV. I've got a short film doing festival circuits right now, winning some awards actually, and something around the corner coming out probably at the end of this month for people to watch. You can follow me on social media so that you can get like more specific announcements for that kind of a thing. It's just my name, first name, last name. Put that together, you'll find me on Twitter, you'll find me on Instagram. And I also am an avid tabletop role-playing gamer. I'm actually going to be dungeon mastering my first campaign very soon, and I'm terrified. So I'm playing Lampwick, and Lampwick is kind of out of it right now because he keeps getting hurt and then needing to, do everything possible to like rest. So not long ago, he took a bit of a pill that kind of knocked him out, and he's still lingering in between, reality and some other place. Hopefully, hanging in there enough to survive for a little while longer, because that's what he is, a survivor. Able
Indeed.
to let's just get to it and see if he lives.
We can't just get into it. I'm afraid that what you have said is something that needs to be clarified.
Oh.
You took a large homemade painkiller that you found within the depths of a coal mine. Your character is deeply affected by this powerful sedative, and while you were not with us last week, Lampwick very much was. And I know that there are things that Lampwick might have said that perhaps he wishes he hadn't. We are very grateful to have Alcuin back with us for another week. You have been a guest with us now for a while, and you have brought new dimensions to the story. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, everything that you're doing within the world, and about your character, Kusanagi?
I'm Alcuin Gersh. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, other social media, Instagram, under the name Different Elves. It's different_elves. Most closely related to this, I'm working on a supplement for Outbreak Undead called Danse Macabre, which is a Black Plague alternate history survival horror supplement. You'll be able to play the Outbreak Undead that you've grown to love, hate, but with some new added pressures and a lack of things you might have come to depend on, like antiseptic or a lot of the other things that have come since that time. So it's very gritty. The way the undead look and behave in it is very different from anything that you've seen before, and we're very excited to bring that book to you this year. You can also see me on the Dungeons and Dragons Twitch channel, twitch.tv/D&D, starting up again next week for the third and final season of A Darkened Wish, based on B. Dave Walters' official Dungeons and Dragons comic of the same name. It's a great show that we have a lot of fun on. It's a little lighter than this. I'm playing Kusanagi, who is a rag and bone tape trader who considers himself a sort of storyteller and historian. And I think in the last episode, his efforts to help the rest of the group have kind of gotten him into some trouble. His moral compass caused him to overlook some very important things, and basically convinced him that Dr. Espinosa was not all that she appears to be. And in trying to convince unsuccessfully the rest of the group of this, he eventually decided he was just going to have to try to get out of there on his own, and took her as a shield and hostage to try to get out. But before he did, a surprise shot came from somebody piercing through the doctor and into his own guts. So we'll have to see, is he still the same person when he's under a new type of pressure?
I look forward to finding out the answer to that question. I will say that Kusanagi's paranoia, the secrets that he's discovered, the truths that he unearthed in talking with the other survivors, unfurled the true depths of the situation that everyone finds themselves trapped within. This is a safe house made of concrete and steel, deep beneath the ground. There are no windows. There is only a single steel door that leads back into a long network of tunnels and passages that are connected to an ancient abandoned coal mine. Not a secure and safe place to be. So even in Kusanagi's wish to leave this place, he was potentially entering a much more dangerous arena. For the dead do walk, and those that were beyond that door are different than the shambling, unthinking corpses that have been so infected by this virus that has destroyed the world around all of you. There's something different about those that you have recently run into. Something more deliberate. They have shown you abilities, skills, the ability to speak. And what that means for each of you and the world that you live in has yet to truly be discovered. But this is the beginning of something else. And as all of you have found some small amount of sanctuary here within this place, only time will tell who will walk away from the situation at hand. 2 of you have been shot. Lampwick, horribly wounded from a stabbing, can barely walk. Juniper is wounded as well, having barely escaped the clutches of a number of the dead. And while Achira is healthy, she is surrounded by those that she cannot necessarily trust. And everything can change on the turn of a dime. Each of you who are with us tonight within our chat has the opportunity to directly affect the world of Outbreak Undead Rag and Bone. Our campaign is not simply a storyteller and 4 players. It is all of you. You are the members of the communities in the surrounding area of Grey Ridge Farm. Each of you has the ability to interact with the Scry application that is below, as we have partnered with Foreteller and created something that we're very proud of. Our Scry application is able to take a full assessment of the time that you spend watching all of the content here at Hunters Entertainment, as long as you are signed into that application. Upon doing so, you will be granted the ability to spend the resources that are given to you for both subscriptions and for the time that you spend watching. As you do so, you will be able to gift a number of elements to the communities that are being supported by your actions. If you purchase water and food or medical supplies, they will find their way into this world. If you see an event or an action available to you, working together to undertake it may have benefits. It may unlock additional levels that are unseen. You may be able to uncover a mystery that can directly affect the outcome of any situation that is being depicted while the players and myself interact with one another. You are a part of this game. As such, if we are to gather our goals and reach 15 subscriptions or 100 follows in any single week, all of the players will be granted an additional competency point. And if you're familiar with Outbreak Undead, you know how unforgiving and cruel that system can be. It is made to be this way. Horror is not something to be taken lightly. There is a weight and a consequence to the actions that you take. The mechanics do help support this, but they do not allow for characters to make brash and quick decisions without paying a very heavy price. As I said before, there are no magic swords. Healing potions do not exist here. You must use your wits to survive. And when wounded, you must take the time to heal. I am sad to announce, as the situation could certainly help all of the players, but I am sorry to say that this previous week, neither the sub-goal nor the follow goal were met. So each player will enter into this encounter with only 3 competency points each. Additionally, I would like to thank Alex Hillman for all of his support in helping us make this game possible. JB Jara is on break, but we do wish him well and look forward to his return. This is Outbreak Rag and Bone. We will be back. The world ended on Monday, August 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something far, far more deadly and horrible than anyone could imagine. H195, commonly called the Legacy or the Widow's Kiss. It was even worse than it had been expected. The dead seemed to be more infectious after they passed away. And those dead found their feet once again and began walking, attacking those who still were amongst the living. At first, it seemed like no one was immune to the airborne strain. Eventually, it appeared that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus. And those dead that continued to walk through the street, they were hungry and violent, enraged. Through a bite or a deep scratch or blood-on-blood contact, the virus continued to spread, and the handful of survivors struggled forward. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, people sought any sort of security, but there was none to be had. Entire cities burned, but miraculously, some still survived. And for the next 25 years, life struggled forward. The world now is a fractured place. Some seek to make civilization anew. Others wish to finish the job the virus started. The Ender's Line uses old railway tracks to connect the small and scattered outposts and settlements that are found across the United States. They are a lifeline in a world that now belongs to the dead. Rag and bone, they are called often. They are merchants, but they are so much more. All news travels with them. Rumors are all that anyone can count on. You see, in this world, there is no daily news broadcast, no newspaper, no internet. Everyone is isolated. Their own small islands of existence. Life is much as it was before the advent of technology at all. But there are still small scraps and remnants that have remained, these echoes of the world that was lost. 1995, frozen as if in amber. Juniper stands, shaking, her body racked with a heavy sweat. The clean garb that was given to her, the old medical gown and other elements that she has been wrapped in by the doctor, stick to her flesh. Her eyes are narrow, but filled with anger. And in her hand, the automatic pistol is held. The barrel still smokes. Kusanagi, shock. This is what shock is. You feel nothing, but you are aware of everything around you, as if time has slowed to a crawl. You can hear everything. The heavy, panted breathing of each individual in this room, the smell of blood in the air, the stink of the unwashed bodies crammed into this small space, the whimper of the two red-headed twin children hiding in the caged area beyond, the groaning of the rock beyond the iron door where the collapse had happened earlier, the smell of dirt. You feel the wetness growing out from your abdomen, and that red blotch like ink on parchment growing larger and larger. You feel the blood trickling down your leg now. The doctor's body, still in your arms, is limp and growing colder. Achira, you stand across towards the kitchen. You are not alone. Dinner has been set. A meal made from the remaining cans that were found within this safe house, prepared by yourself and Rowan. Steam wafts off of that meal, and the generator continues to sputter in the far corner. Back behind another set of these chain link fences that have been stretched over with tarp. You see this entire space is one large rectangular concrete box. It is deep beneath the earth. Most of you don't even recall the path that you took to get here. Traveling through forgotten coal mines, struggling to try and find your way to some sort of safety. For outside in the open air of what was once known as Grey Ridge Farms, the dead have taken everything. They have swarmed across that place and left only desolate, empty death behind. Others from other communities have come, and as they were attempting to clear the dead away, all of you found yourself here. The last resort of the Grey Ridge community, where they would find security and safety in the most dire of moments. None of you realized that the most dire of moments would be created after you had arrived. Lampwick, you are conscious now and awake, also covered heavily in sweat. You are, however, quite comfortable. Your legs and arms feel light. Your head is spinning. It's hard to focus. Words were on your lips as if you were about to speak to someone who is not standing next to you any longer. You have faded and strange memories of your companions, these survivors, standing over you. You remember the face of Maria Espinosa, the doctor, leader of the Grey Ridge Farm. You remember Achira, this strange young man. Kusanagi. The name echoes in your mind. And then you hear his voice as if he's right next to you, saying things about the doctor and about your situation, about how much danger everyone is in. No one can be trusted. She's experimenting on people. And then you heard very soft and careful footfalls in the room. Your head now lolls over and you see two small children hiding underneath the cot across from you, and a small pool of blood where Juniper had been lying. She stands now, her back to you, but you realize what woke you. Gunshots. A gunshot. Loud echoing within this place. There's nowhere to run from that noise. It still is causing your ears to ring. Everything seems to happen a second after you perceive it. For you, time is moving differently as well. Olive. You've shot her. That is a start. The gun in your hand is warm. The others are looking at you. They always look at you. You know what that means. They're confused. What would you like to do? What is your intention in this moment?
I walk towards the body. Well, the bodies of the doctor and Kusanagi.
Kusanagi has not yet fallen.
Oh,
And
I
is
shoot him again.
holding... Very well. Your intention is to shoot Kusanagi. Everyone in the room, I will assess your intentions before we move forward. Olive, I would like for you to make a firearms check. You will add 2 speed dice to your roll. You are wounded still, and you have 1 black die added to your difficulty. Achira, Juniper continues to move forward with this gun in her hand. What would you like to do?
As far as Achira knows, one of her teammates just started firing at a doctor that was on their side, and this other individual who up to this point had been pretty okay until he just kind of flipped a switch.
I will remind you that that flip was severe, and that the argument that had occurred before all of this escalated was dangerous. He had taken the doctor hostage and was attempting to force his way out. I would also like to remind you, while you hold on to something important, the keys to the door, you had been attempting to conceal that fact. Achira, do you still have the keys?
I still have the keys. I believe I didn't have a chance to do the handoff that I wanted to do to the doctor. But I guess my intention right now would be to shoulder my rifle and get to cover. I would be aiming at Juniper. I'm not saying that I'm shooting, but that is my intention, to be ready to shoot and to be in cover. Well, there's like a kitchen table and a dining room table near me, so unless that's a wall next to Rowan, to the right of Rowan.
Everything in that area are chain link fences with stretched canvas on either side, or blue tarp, plastic tarping. You are able to see everything in this room clearly. There are couches there that are there, and there is a small cart that has a old television that Kusanagi has repaired. The back of it has been ripped open. There's a VCR on the ground still, Kusanagi's. Or did you take that back, Kusanagi?
I didn't have a chance to.
It is still on the ground then.
Yeah, I mean, I have my pack, my small pack that has some of my stuff in it, but yeah, my VCR is still hooked up to the TV.
Yeah. So long gun, prepared to shoot, stepping, I guess, behind the kitchen table then for any type of even partial cover.
I would ask you to make a composure check. I'm going to give you no difficulty dice as you are not currently wounded in any way. You have a fairly clear view of everything happening around you. I will additionally give you 2 blue speed dice that I would like for you to roll as well. Kusanagi, what is your intention in this moment?
I think after I realized that the doctor and I had been shot, I would have stumbled over to the wall to my left and then let her body slide down that wall as gently as I could. And then I would try to go into that room, the room that's to my left. Try to.
You are going to fall into the generator room.
Which is the one, I guess, on the south of this map.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think as I do so, I'd want to say, okay, that's a bit disproportionate a reaction.
I would like for you to make a dodge check. And I would like for you to add 2 speed dice to it as well. You have been shot, so I would ask you to add a single black difficulty die to your roll. Finally, Lampwick. You hear all of this now. Your head is just clear enough for you to be able to make out what is happening. You have very little understanding of the situation. But you did hear gunshots, and now these shouted words. What would you like to do? What is your intention?
If I can get to my feet, I'm going to slowly rise and get to my feet without trying to make any noise. In my line of sight, do I see Juniper's back towards me?
You do not see Juniper any longer as she has stepped away from the door and is moving into the room. To your understanding, she is now within that space, but you do not see her.
Do I see anything around me that I can grab and at least use as some sort of a weapon? Any kind of pipes or anything that I can... did Juniper leave anything behind that I could get to?
On the ground by the doorway, you see a Polaroid photo. In the far corner, there is a small bedside table. On it is a lamp.
I'm going to grab the lamp and I'm going to get ready to use it to protect myself if I can, and I'm going to approach the doorway and try to get a look at what's happening out there.
A small hand grabs your foot. You see a child looking up at you, tears streaking down their face. Don't hurt her. It's not her fault. She's the bad one. The other one, it's okay. We like June.
I'm going to kind of lower myself to the level that kid is in. What are you talking about?
She killed that man. He was bit, but he was trying to help, and she just, I don't know. She scares us. She's gonna hurt us if you know. We told her we can't go down in the basement. They don't allow us down there, but she went anyway.
Calm down. Breathe. Who's the good one and who's the bad one?
It's not Juniper. Juniper's our friend. But the other one's not. She's mean.
Where's the other one right now?
What do you mean?
They're fighting. Is that what's causing what's happening out there? Where is the other one?
They're both her. So your intention has been met. You will spend this round talking to these children.
Yes.
You have Lampwick is now wielding a lamp, but you have turned it off in unplugging it, and it's now dark in this room, and it's heavy. The base of this thing is heavy. It's full of metal, and it's very sturdy and well put together. You can tell it's been repaired many times over, but as soon as that lampshade was removed from it, you have a very hefty club in your hands.
Copy.
You are still lightheaded, and you find that when you knelt down, you kind of had to stabilize yourself, Lampwick. You realize that any combat that you enter into may be difficult for you. Your reflexes are slowed, and everything seems to be hard to gauge because you're not really feeling your fingertips. But you do listen and are able to speak with these two frightened twins that are hidden underneath this bed as they speak for the first time, having been brought here by June. All right, so let's look at the results that we have from our rolls and the speed dice especially. Kusanagi, you have an 11 on your speed. Achira, you have an 8 on your speed. And Juniper, you have a 6 on your speed. That means that we will be resolving Juniper's action first. Juniper, you have 1 success on your pistol shot. Kusanagi, what is your damage threshold?
I think it's 9.
It will be reduced by 1 since you have taken an injury. So it will be an 8.
One other question I had too was, I've been behind the doctor this entire time.
Yes.
So she's been between me and Juniper this entire time until I ducked around that corner.
The bullet that you feel in your abdomen, Kusanagi, passed through the doctor. This is a very minor wound. You feel that if it were any worse, the shock that is slowly starting to wear away would leave you in such intense pain that you wouldn't be able to move. Where this bullet is, it would have probably pierced through your spine. You wouldn't be able to walk. You would have internal damage. You don't know exactly what's happened quite yet. You are familiar enough with first aid to know that this is a fairly superficial wound, and that gives you some hope. I know that we did a lot of that narratively. I would ask your patience with me in the threshold damage being reduced to 8. That is the only negative that I will be giving you for that gunshot that occurred at the end of last session. So with that, it means that you will only have to reduce that by that single point. I am going to actually roll Juniper's damage now for the gunshot on this side. So you have a 1, and a 6, Kusanagi, to deal with from this second shot. You duck. I do know that your dodge is going to match this, but it is a matter of how quickly you reacted to it. So with your permission, unless you would like to change your action, I will allow your successes on your dodge to adjust how this is going to play out. Unless you would like to change your action as the gun fires.
I mean, I think I'm still going to try to get into that room.
Okay. So you make it into the back room. You slip past the chain link fence, and the bullet grazes across your shoulder. You manage to avoid a direct hit. However, you do have some damage to deal with, and I will leave that with you, and you can assign it as you see fit. You are now bleeding, but behind the small security of cover. These are plastic tarps and chain link fencing. While she can no longer see you, you know that if any further gunfire is had, that it will not offer you any aid. Additionally, you are now staring at a gas-powered generator that is chugging heavily along as it provides the small amount of electricity that is being used within this safe house. There are cans of gasoline all around you.
You know, I wouldn't have hurt the doctor. I just wanted to get out of here safely. Seems like you've got bigger problems than me.
Be quiet.
Listen, if I die, you'll never know what Blockbuster knew.
We
Rowan,
don't care.
Hear me, Rowan? I sold his code. I know what is starting this. But you'll never figure it out without me. I pulled the ladder up behind. I'm the only one who can tell you how to stop this plague.
I'm not interested in that. I walk over to the doctor.
You will need to wait a moment.
Right.
Achira, you have 4 degrees of failure on your composure. Do you wish for that to ride?
Since this is a change in our circumstances, I'm just wondering if with having this active shooter, if this is now a location hazard?
You are in the middle of a gunfight within a safe house made of concrete and steel. This is a location hazard. But not because of the reason that you think.
Okay.
That gunfight is occurring right next to a gas-powered generator. One stray bullet, one ricochet in the wrong place, and Achira realizes that this safe house turns into a crematorium.
I'm gonna use 3, all 3 of competency points that I got from the location hazard to mitigate the 4 that I just got. And instead of my original intention, which was taking my rifle off my shoulder and getting behind cover, I'm not able to. Achira instead stumbles backwards instead of being able to do a forceful, Juniper, what are you doing? Instead of being able to do that, just kind of stumbles backwards, semi-clutching at the rifle, and backs into the kitchen chairs behind her.
Arya is on the ground again. Oh, hi. You didn't like the hug very much, did you? I'm disappointed. And she kind of falls back, clearly still high, and just kind of giggles on the floor as all of this is occurring.
This is so nuts right now. Nothing makes sense.
2 other individuals, however, are very much paying attention to what is happening here. Rowan and Philippe, like soldiers, drop the casual attitudes that they've been carrying with them this entire time and clearly mean business. Both of which have automatic weapons pointed at Juniper. Look, girlie, I really do not want to do this. You've been just fine. Seems like you're a good kid. Let's put the gun down and talk this out. You've got beef, we've got solutions. We can cook this up and eat it. Dinner's still on the table. Set the gun down, or Philippe and I are gonna have to kill you.
Seems reasonable.
You don't have a choice. We will kill you. You can't get all of us. Is that what you want? Is this some sort of suicide run?
I put the gun down.
Good. Now we can talk.
I
So-
continue to the doctor.
I am going to say that Rowan, once seeing you put the gun down, takes that at face value and makes a mistake. Turning away, looks to you, Achira. Can you go check on the kid back there?
Do you mean the Lampwick?
No,
The
no,
children?
no. Kusanagi, he's not a kid. He's as old as all of us are, but I don't know. Something about him reminds me of, reminds me of somebody I knew. It doesn't matter. You better go check on him. I think he was hit. And Philippe starts
Achira.
moving towards the doctor as well. So you have somebody with a gun held moving closer. Lampwick in the other room, what do you do when all of this occurs?
So I was listening, and I want to know if there's a way that I can start. How much am I starting to put together what the kids are trying to tell me? They've already said that Juniper and the other person are the same person, and I'm trying to see if, while I was listening, if I was able to detect anything that stood out to me about Juniper's tone, intonation, speech, anything.
I want you to roll detect motives.
Copy.
And you're going to do so with a single black die of difficulty.
Got it.
Meanwhile, Achira, you said that you were walking over to the doctor? Or towards Kusanagi?
I'm gonna head to Kusanagi. My intention is when I go through the storage room, I'm pretty sure that when I walk past the doctor, I'll see that there's blood on the floor. My intention when I go past the storage room is to just like ham-fisted grab any medical supplies that I see, like there, and go into the generator room.
Okay, I need you to make a search check for me. And tell me how you do on that. No difficulty dice. You already know where things are as you've searched the space pretty thoroughly. Anyone who wishes to do similar actions, we can add those successes together. You can accumulate them as a group. Kusanagi, what is your intention?
At this point, Kusanagi is slumped against the generator and the gas cans, and I still have the gun in my hand, but it's not pointed at the doorway. It's pointed at like the gas cans and other stuff that are near me, and I'm checking my wound and looking up at the doorway.
Why don't you make a first aid check? And I'm not going to give you any dice of difficulty because you are strangely focused in this moment. Something in you, like a switch, has been hit, Kusanagi. And everyone heard what Kusanagi was shouting about Blockbuster. It certainly perked Rowan the hell up. All right. All I need to know, Olive, what do you do when you make your way to the doctor?
I want to check for two things. One, if she's alive. Two, if she has the keys on her.
All right. I want you to make a search check. And you can make this search check without any dice of difficulty. I do want you to make a first aid check as well, but you have one die of difficulty to that roll because of your injury. All right. Let's start with Lampwick. You have 4 degrees of success.
I do.
Lampwick, in your previous life, you were a con artist, a grifter, a liar, and a thief. Beyond that, you were good at the things that you did. One of the best. You weren't simply a petty criminal. When somebody got taken by you, you were thorough. The only way to do that sort of work and to be good at it is to study people, to study what makes them work, their inner thoughts, their psychology. You've read books. In 1994, the term multiple personality disorder was ruled to be inaccurate and insensitive, incorrect. Dissociated personality disorder, dissociated identity disorder. When an individual believes themselves unable to handle stressful situations, they will regress. They will find ways to cope. In this world, with everything that surrounds all of you every single day, a child of the apocalypse, having been raised outside of any semblance of civilization, could very easily find survival mechanisms that would allow them to make it through the day. Loneliness can be powerful. Your mind, though muddled in cotton, pushing through a heavy fog, immediately zeroes in on what these small, scared children are referring to. You know, whoever is standing out there is not Juniper.
As I'm putting all that together, I look at the kids and I ask, what's her name? Do you know?
Olive.
I'm going to take that information and slowly start to walk out of the room and assess what I see out there.
Achira, Rowan, and Philippe notice a figure stumble into the threshold of the door. It is Lampwick. Badly wounded, bandaged, covered in sweat, and holding onto a very heavy-looking metal lamp. You assess the situation, looking around the room. Go ahead and make a spot listen check for me, Luis, but I would like for Lampwick to do this with 2 black difficulty dice added to the roll.
Okay.
That being said, Achira, you have 1 degree of failure on your search. Do you wish for that degree of failure to stand?
I'm gonna have that roll because I'm thinking that with what Achira was grabbing, that she doesn't get the best things for medical supplies. Instead of grabbing antiseptic and bandages, maybe she grabs honey and what looks like some rags, for instance.
I will allow that to be your failure in this moment. You grab a handful of items, thinking that the packaging is correct, and getting closer, you realize that they are very old, expired, single-use proportioned packages of honey, packed into a plastic baggie in a old lunchbox that has been aged over the years. On the side of it, it is crudely written first aid. Out of everything that you could have grabbed, this seems almost ludicrous, but there are some rags inside of it and a few other items. There are some pills and a pocket knife as well. But you have no idea what the pills are. There is no label or marking upon them. You continue forward and you get very near to where Juniper's crouched down by the doctor. Juniper, do you allow anyone to pass by you? I'm sorry, Olive, do you allow anyone to pass by you?
I let her do what she wants. I'm focused on the doctor.
You cautiously step past her.
Achira's gonna take a moment where she's like staring Juniper in the face and looking down at the doctor. And I'd love for that to be a moment when she realizes that something is very, very off.
Roll a sense motive. You have 1 black die of difficulty to this roll. It is a tense moment. Everyone is experiencing emotions that are contorting their expressions. Fear, anger, surprise. Kusanagi, you are in the position that you have described to us. Do you do anything while you hear footsteps coming closer?
So I have the acumen trait as well. It's not as high as Achira's, but this counts as a location hazard for me as well, right?
It absolutely does.
All right.
You are in the center of that hazard.
So on my first day to check my wound, I had 1 failure, but I get 2 competency points from the location hazard, and I'd like to use one of those to offset the failure and another one to make it a success. And I basically just tear off like part of my my clothes, like my sort of coat and stuff, and I press that into the wound with my free hand. But I still have the gun trained on all of this explosive juiciness around me, and my eyes are fixed on the door, but I'm kind of trembling a bit.
You prevent any further blood loss. And you can feel a small, hard knot of metal in your abdomen, just under the skin. The bullet just barely broke the flesh of your midsection, and you can feel it. It shouldn't be hard to remove. It does hurt. And the grazing wound on your shoulder is burning hot. But it also seems fairly superficial in this moment. These are not wounds that will end your life unless they are left unattended to. However, they have slowed you down and put you into a very awkward position. Olive, you do not find the keys. Do you wish to spend any competency points to adjust that?
No.
With your success on the first aid, I can tell you now that the doctor is in fact still alive, breathing ragged and low. She will bleed out if she is not attended to very soon.
I want to stand up and... Achira, are you still there? Have you passed me by already?
I don't believe I've passed by yet. I've just grabbed the first aid kit.
Achira, I just thought she was trying to kill me. I didn't mean to hurt that other person. I don't know who that is. She has the keys, right? Why won't she let us out?
And Achira got a 1 degree of failure on her detect motives.
What would you like to do about that? Anything?
I'm gonna roll with being somewhat convinced here, slightly, that I'm not sometimes people go crazy in bunkers. It just, spaces, small spaces with people and all that. So I'm gonna roll with that mentality
Excellent.
with it.
Yes. Additionally, though, I will have Olive make a persuade check with no dice of difficulty, just to make sure that it is not a catastrophic failure.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay. Boom. Oh, it's not good.
It's not a catastrophic failure, but it is a failure. Do you wish to spend any of your competency points to make this persuasion believable?
I'll use all 3.
All right. It is actually very, very convincing. Everyone in the room believes what Juniper has said at surface level.
We spent so much time trying to get somewhere safe, and we're there now. Like I said before, I don't understand how we can't just sit for a second and just be. We have a locked door between us and everything that is outside. We don't need to make the danger in here too. Do you get what I'm saying, Juniper?
She was gonna kill me. That's what that guy said.
We don't know that for a fact. All of this has just gotten so everywhere.
Lampwick, you are in the room now. You may react as you see fit.
Well, then who has the keys? She doesn't have them.
I'd like to know that too, by the way. Who has the keys? Rowan shouts.
What I want to immediately do, since I've completely honed in on this Juniper and Olive discovery, the Juniper that's coming out right now, am I able to determine if that's genuinely Juniper as I know her to be, or is that Olive pretending to be Juniper?
You are uncertain. If you would like to stand back and pay close attention to what she is doing, I will allow you to make a sense motive check with 2 dice of difficulty added to it. You can do nothing else in this moment, though, but watch and observe.
I'm going to follow my gut. I call out to Juniper. Juniper.
What?
Please come here. I need your help.
Just take a nap. We're looking for the keys.
I can't. I know. I need. The kids are asking for you, please. I think one of them's hurt, and they're asking for you. Can you please come and check on them with me? They need you. Please.
I want to... I want to stay where I am. I yell, just tell them to come out here. Hey, kids, come here. Come here right now.
Slowly, carefully, and clearly frightened, the 2 twins appear in the doorway, hiding
I'm gonna
behind
put my hand out.
Lampwick.
I look down and I look at the one that's right next to me. Is Juniper's attention back here on us, or is she still looking forward, trying to do what she's trying to do?
I think I'm looking at you.
Yeah. So she seems to be intent on you and the children in this moment.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of like hug the kids and try to reassure them. Okay, I say to Juniper, they're here. That's helping.
So they're fine.
Are you fine? I say to them.
They shake their head no.
Well,
Is Juniper helping? I say to them. She's helping, yes?
They nod, looking at you.
Atira, we have to find the keys and get out of here. I don't think this place is safe.
Do you see any Romeros in here? We know they're in the tunnels. And the doctor was all over this place and knows every type of hidey hole. On the way here, she knew all of the passages. Can we just sit down and have dinner and just chill for just a second?
Arya from the far dining area in the center of the room shouts out, "Let's eat some food!"
I'm going to use this kit to look at, well, I guess the doctor and also Kusanagi. Does anyone have a problem with that?
Nope.
I think I do. I want to push Achira away
From the doctor, or that she's going to
from
help
the
Kusanagi?
doctor.
So you start to lean near the doctor. I will give you the option. This can be a narrative push, or we can roll this. What would you two prefer to do in this moment?
I'm okay with a narrative.
Okay.
With
So
this.
it doesn't cause you to fall over. It doesn't affect
No.
your standing at all. However, Juniper shoves you back, and you take a full step backwards away from the doctor.
Achira's gonna put her hands up, like one has the first aid kit, and then like her other hand up, and she's gonna like stare at Juniper for a second, and it's gonna be like, if she dies, we can't find the keys. I'll look at Kusanagi first, and is gonna head that direction.
Fine.
Rowan, you watch Lampwick in front of you. She gun still at the ready. You can tell that she's ready to pull this gun upward and fire, but she's playing it very cool, very casual. Walks over and picks up the gun that was dropped and tucks it into the back of her belt.
Was
Well-
that gun the gun that Juniper had?
Yes.
Got it.
Philippe moves across the room and is in a position to fire in a cross arc between Rowan, away from the generator.
Is he near me, Philippe?
Neither of them are within more than 10 feet of you. Rowan is probably the closest, and Philippe is probably almost 15 feet from you at that point.
Can I approach Rowan, or is
You may.
that
Yeah.
okay? I'm gonna slowly approach.
You start walking over.
She needs to be restrained,
No shit, Sherlock.
so someone needs to do it now, and I'm not in the shape to do it.
Hey, look,
I'll take
sweetheart,
it
have
from
you
there.
ever
Not the time,
smoked a
not-
cigarette on top of a powder keg? Because that happens to be the situation that we all find ourselves in.
I see the situation. You get her restrained, and I'll take it from there, and I will fix this.
All right. I'm not promising that that restraint isn't going to end in her dead. I need Olive to make a spot listen check. As you are still checking the doctor, you have one black die of difficulty to overhear anything that is being carefully whispered in the back of the room. Achira, you are making your way into the cage that is holding the generator.
Yes.
Kusanagi, Achira appears in the doorway. She's silhouetted by the flickering light beyond. You are in darkness. Achira, you don't at first make full eye contact with Kusanagi. You only see a shape that is slumped down amongst the gas cans and the generator as it putts noisily forward.
She scans what she can see, and tries very hard to look around. I'm just also kind of trying to stall here to make sure I have the right. Okay. She can't see Kusanagi, and she stares around, and then she kind of calls out into the darkness, "Pizza dude's got 30 seconds."
Why are you here? You could have saved a lot of this trouble if you just told everybody that you have the keys.
You didn't have to take the doc hostage, and I don't know what you're talking about, but I am here to help you.
You do know what I'm talking about.
I do know that you're
If you're just gonna lie to me, then you should leave.
Oh, will you stop? At least let me look at what's going on with you.
I'll only talk to Rowan.
Do you not want help right now?
Not from you.
Why is everybody
All right, that sounds like less than just a polite conversation in there. Achira, why don't you do us all a favor and just take a couple steps back? Why don't you take a look at the doctor over there? I'm a little concerned. It's Rowan's voice.
Chira gives Kusanagi a look and then steps back into the main room.
Hey, Juniper. We need to have somebody look at that doctor. We understand. We're not going to let anybody hurt you. Let me make that perfectly fucking clear. No one is going to hurt you while we're here. All we need from you is to carefully step back and let somebody look at the doctor. Like her or not, and trust me, I think she's a fucking bitch. But like her or not, we need her. You just shot her. That's a big fucking problem. Right?
I don't think she's gonna make it. I want to try to quickly reach down and break her neck.
So I just need you to make a melee attack. So go ahead and make your roll with no dice of difficulty because she is on death's door. Your hands are all over her. There is nothing hard about snapping her neck in this moment. The only real question that you have to solve is how quickly can you do it? And is it faster than Rowan is able to draw her weapon?
So should I roll speed dice also?
I want you to roll 2 speed dice because I certainly will be.
Can I do something to
Yeah,
maybe give her
same.
more speed dice at least? Because right now, if I see her hands reaching for her head, and I've been doing this math, I'm gonna yell out, "Olive, stop!" to try to throw her off and slow her down.
And I would probably try to toss the first aid kit at her to knock her off balance.
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of intentions, but I need to give you some rolls to make. Everybody will be rolling the same amount of speed dice, 2 speed dice. I'm going to say roughly it's equal as they are all very quick things that are happening. I hear throw the first aid kit for Achira. So you can, let's go ahead and call that throw. And you can make your throw with 2 speed dice, no difficulty dice added. Lampwick, what was your specific action to try to add to the quickness of what?
I am trying to throw Juniper off momentarily by calling out, "Olive, stop!"
I see. So
To
I don't
add more speed dice to her, hopefully.
I want you to make a persuade check, and I would like for you to do it with 2 speed dice as well.
Got it.
There are narrative repercussions to that we will not leave to the dice, and I will leave it to Olive how she reacts to her name being used in this context. However, your persuasion check may lend some credence to the things that you're saying, but more importantly, it's going to give us your speed. Kusanagi, you hear all of this boiling up outside. What would you like to do? You do not see the doctor or know that this is happening to the doctor, but you do hear Juniper say very clearly, I don't think she's going to make it.
If my wound looks like it's not going to get any worse, I am going to carefully move over very quietly to. You say this is like a sort of chain link caged in area with tarps and stuff, right? Blocking
Yes.
most visibility.
Most visibility. There are holes that have been cut into them, and you can see through points of light kind of peek out through them in various places.
I want to move up to one of these holes, but if there's any sort of furniture or anything else that would help protect most of my body while I get closer to that, I want to be able to visually look out of one of these holes.
You pick up a metal panel, and it is part of the generator that has been removed and not replaced. It opens and exposes a lot of the inner workings of the generator, but someone didn't put it back on. It is a small 2 foot by 2 foot metal piece, and you hold it up, and it should offer you some small protection should anyone shoot through this space. However, I would like for you to make a spot listen, and I would like for you to roll 2 blue speed dice, please. To resolve the situation, or to begin to, we will look first at the speed that has been rolled. And Juniper, I see that you have a speed of 6. Is that correct on your roll?
Yes.
And I see a speed of 8 from Achira and a speed of 8 from Lampwick. Everything in this moment, I guess, is going to be determined by Kusanagi's roll, which is a speed of 7. You also have a single success on your attack. You have spent all 3 of Olive's competency points, so you must take the single success. There's a wet snap, and the doctor goes limp.
That wasn't so hard, was it? It's fine.
Kusanagi, you see this. It's the first thing that you see. You see this small, wild creature, this child of the apocalypse. Colored hair and brightly colored clothing that had been stitched together and worn over many years. A barbaric echo of a world that you were her age when this era existed, and now this ghost stands before you. You hear the wet snap. The doctor's body pulses and then drops completely limp. Do you stand at that point, Olive, or do you remain crouched?
I get up.
You see the dead body beyond Juniper as she stands. Do you wish to change anything about your action, Kusanagi?
No, I think I'm gonna carefully move back to my place with the generator and all of the rest of the gas cans.
You take
Can
a
I-
step back.
And I'm just gonna say, okay, now that's something I didn't want to see, but this isn't over yet. I'll only talk to Rowan.
Can I yell out? Do I hear all of this happening?
You hear it
Do I-
behind you, but before you yell out,
Okay.
Lampwick and Achira, you both are operating on a 6, or I'm sorry, on an 8. Achira, you have 4 successes on your throw. Do you wish to alter your action?
I'm going to knock Juniper the fuck out.
So with 4 successes on your first aid, you strike her, or you strike her with the first aid kit. You have 4 successes, or were you going to change that?
I have 4 successes. I need to knock her out, and she needs to lie still for a second, unconscious.
You easily hit her head, without a doubt. This metal box rings out as Juniper stands immediately from just out of nowhere. You see this box crash into her. It busts open. The contents spill out all around you. A trickle of blood dribbles down Olive's head. Olive, I need you to make an endurance check with 2 dice of difficulty added to it. And Lampwick, the words come out far too late.
If I can stop them from coming out of my mouth after everything I've seen, then I absolutely will.
The word olive leaves your lips just as the lunchbox strikes her head. And as you say it, Olive, that hits you just as hard. He doesn't say anything else. But you meet eyes with Lampwick and you know with certainty he knows. Your 4 degrees of failure, unless you wish to mitigate those, Lampwick, are going to ensure that Olive is aware that you know her secret.
I am going to use all my competency points to try to fix that as much as I can.
If you spend all 3 of your competency points and you only have 1 degree of failure, you will not say the word loudly enough for her to hear it.
Done.
As she is being struck in the head with a first aid kit. And you have no competency points for the remainder of this encounter. Olive's body lurches forward as it strikes. The word escapes your mouth and you immediately clamp your hand across it. Rowan turns and looks at you quizzically.
Does the 4 degrees of success not knock her out? Because if not, then I will spend competency to make it 5 degrees.
No, I needed her to make an endurance check. If you wish to spend an additional competency point to ensure that that happens, I will happily accept it and ensure that that action takes place in the way that you hope that it will.
Well, I know that she got a 1 degree of failure on the endurance. So
She is on the ground.
okay.
She
Then
is
I'll
breathing
spend the
heavily.
competency point to put her down for now.
If you spend the competency point, there is no question about it. She is fully unconscious and will remain that way for some time. There's a small pool of blood under her head, but she's clearly breathing. For a long moment, everything is quiet within the bunker.
Restrain her now, please.
Tie her up.
I'm going to try to approach, too. If people are starting to get to work, I'm going to approach.
All right, hold on, Rowan says, gun still at the ready. I asked a question. I want the answer. Who the fuck has the keys? We're all friends here now. No need to keep secrets.
I'm assuming it's the doctor, no?
No, it's not you.
I'm assuming the doctor put it somewhere in here, but I don't know.
All right, Achira, I want you to find him. Look around.
If the doctor had had the keys, don't you think she would have let me out?
Kusanagi makes a good point, but I need him to be quiet for just a minute and take a deep breath. We're going to take care of you. Just stay back there, friend. Achira, why don't you search around the room and let us know if you find those keys? I'll watch over everyone else while you do it. Think about where she might have hid them. Check under the couch. Check back in the kitchen. She was back there earlier, too. Are we not eating? You hear Arya kind of pull herself up from the chair. She kind of tousles her hair a little bit and stumbles forward a bit. Oh my. She stops and looks at Juniper on the ground. Oh no. And just kind of stumbles back. She's clearly worried about what's happening. What do the rest of you do?
I'm gonna keep pressing Rowan. She's right there. I said, Rowan, we need to tie her up right now, and I need you to help me, Philippe, please.
Great.
That's the thing.
You don't need us to help you tie that girl up. She's 90 pounds soaking wet.
And
Get over there and do it with that lamp. It's got a cord on it. Do it now.
I can barely stand up. I need you to help me. She's the one that's dangerous. there's something wrong with her. Okay, those kids were telling me what's going on. Whatever the hell else is happening right now, this is the priority. And I thought we were cool. Like, we're on the same side. Like, I don't know
we're
why you're
cool.
coming at
We're
me.
cool. But look at this situation, Lampwick.
I am looking at
What
the
is
person
cool about this situation?
right now. You're not helping me restrain the person who's the most dangerous person right here.
And last I checked, I'm the one holding the fucking gun.
Right, you're in charge. You got all the power. You got the biggest balls in the room. Whatever the hell you want.
Goddamn right.
I'm asking you to help me restrain the most dangerous person who tried to kill some people. Okay?
I get it. I get it, Lampwick.
So what I'm
I
doing
swear
right
to God,
now
you're
is
gonna
I'm
kill me.
distracting
Yeah.
Rowan for you, Achira. So
Yeah. So
I'm
Achira, you are
doing this to
definitely keeping.
Yeah,
Rowan.
Chira.
I'm not even gonna make you make any rolls. Like Rowan
Yeah.
is arguing with you. Philippe is holding the gun on kind of the room, like carefully. Again, they don't have them pointed at people. They have them down, ready to draw them up at a moment's notice. And you can tell that they're doing this in a way that is fairly intelligent and skillful. These are old soldiers. However, Lampwick has fully succeeded in pulling Rowan into an argument that Rowan didn't intend on getting into. And so her attention is not on Achira. Kusanagi is back by the generator, and it is far too loud and dark in that space for Kusanagi to really notice anything. And Juniper, as we've already established, is completely unconscious. Arya wouldn't know if you put the keys in her hand and told her that she'd had them the entire time.
Yeah. That was like literally my first thought.
That only leaves the other four eyes that see you. The two children in the doorway.
I'm not worried about them.
Watch Achira as she moves across the room. They say nothing, they do nothing, but they are witness to whatever you do.
It's reasonable to assume that when we got in here, everybody used the bathroom, yeah?
Yes.
Then, normally, I would think Achira would just go over to Arya and start giving her a hug and patting her down and then find the keys. But you know what? Just a lot has happened. I think that Chira's going to go into the bathroom and discover the keys in the back of the toilet.
There is no toilet, it is a bucket. But you can have it in the latrine area, which is again a slightly thicker walled space made out of chain link fence. There are a number of buckets in a corner. There are rags and makeshift toilet paper that has been crafted out of old material. And it doesn't smell good, but there are cedar chips that have been placed in other bioorganic matter to help to alleviate any sort of biological stench. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
And so you walk into this space, and there are places that you could easily hide keys that no one would want to find them. But the question is how far does Achira wish to go in this ruse?
God, it would be so messed up to just find them on Arya. To go into the bathroom.
Arya would be an easy mark for that sort of action if you choose to take it.
Yeah. Chira's going to go into the bathroom, realize that it's, a bucket and cedar chips and that there's places to hide it, but wow. But it's a little bit too convenient that the first place that Achira looked is where she's going to find the keys. So she's going to continue counterclockwise around the room while you see Rowan and Lampwick arguing. And then you're going to see her visibly kind of stop and look over at Arya and then just kind of go over to her and be like, hey,
Her back is to you. She's shaking. You have no idea what she's doing. You speak to her. She immediately jolts up. and a bag of pills drops onto the ground, scattering across the floor. She quickly drops down, attempting to gather them all up. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. It's it's just been such a long day. We
Yeah.
should totally do something about your hair. I could help you later if you want. Are they going to be okay?
You know what? Thank you. I always wanted to go Hollywood with my hair like you did back in your movies.
Candy Max, and she giggles as
Maxed out to the
maxed
max.
out. Yeah, she's like struggling to pick all these pills up like desperately.
Achira kneels down and like with one hand is helping her and with the other is patting her on the back, and then is like, I'm okay for that hug. It seems like you're having a difficult time.
She
Right
kind
now.
of like weakly smiles, hugs you, and immediately bursts into tears. And you feel her unleash a river of sadness and desperation and fear onto your shoulder. And she sobs for a good long moment, and you hear her whisper, I don't want to be like this anymore.
It's hard to choose not to be, especially when circumstances force you into it. And I get that a lot. One step at a time, yeah. And at that, behind Arya's back, Achira lifts up the keys like she got them off of Arya and does a quiet jingle.
Kusanagi, you do hear the keys jingle. Rowan stops arguing with you, Lampwick, and turns around. I'd like for you to make a persuasion check, as now Rowan is going to make a sense motive.
Are you talking to me?
No. Lampwick.
Oh, my pleasure.
Make a persuade check. And I understand you have some very specific abilities that are focused onto Lampwick's almost superhuman ability to bullshit his way through any situation in life.
I hope it works. This will be the time it bites me in the ass. Frack. 2 fails.
Okay, and Juniper, I'd like for you to make another endurance check. And I am asking Juniper to make this endurance check.
Okay, any difficulty?
No difficulty. You have no competency points to adjust those 2 failures, Lampwick.
Nope.
Rowan looks to you, her eyes narrow. Philippe seems fully convinced. There's something in Rowan's eyes that make you wonder if you've not been made. But Rowan doesn't say anything. Rowan doesn't do anything. Rowan seems to be perfectly content with the fact that the keys have been, quote unquote, found.
Do I notice her find me out? Can I see it?
You didn't fail so badly that you are oblivious to this. So yes, you are, with only 2 degrees of failure, I will say you're pretty good at when you feel like something hasn't been effective. You know when your shots have hit and when they miss. You think that might have been a miss.
I'm gonna wink at her, and I'm gonna step back, and I'm gonna say, maybe Philippe will help me. As I walk right over to him and put my hand on my arm on his shoulder and lean on him and get his attention to helping me tie Juniper up.
He smiles, helps support you, and walks across the room as the 2 of you start to tie Juniper up. However, as soon as you touch Juniper, her eyes open and her body rolls over. June, you have no idea where you are or how you got here, but The doctor is lying next to you dead. Lampwick and Philippe are standing over you, and it smells like exhaust and the sound of a generator are in your ear.
Oh, I'm on this floor. What you guys do to me?
Immediately, I'm gonna like put my hands on her. No. Calm down. June, is it you?
What?
June, look at me.
You're not dead? What happened to you? When did you wake up?
Not dead yet. Do you remember the last couple of minutes? Do you know what you did?
I laid here on the ground and bled a lot because no one put me in a bed because you guys suck.
Do you know what you did to the doctor? I'm going to say to Philippe, let's help her into the next room.
All right, yeah, I can help. Hey,
Come on.
Hey, it's okay. Come with us, yeah? Let's,
I didn't do anything.
shall we get you somewhere more comfortable? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, not the floor. Thanks. Yeah,
No, yes, it is on us. It was a bad thing that we had done. We are sorry. It will not happen again, eh?
Can we leave yet?
No.
Yeah,
Someone talk to me about
no,
leaving?
no, mon ami. So yeah, they're helping you up. Do you tie her up or do you just help her?
I'm going to help her up for now, and I'm totally like sending like telekinesis to Philippe, like, you know, I think he's putting it together too at this point.
You don't know what Philippe is putting together. You don't know if he realizes he seems confused, but he does know that he's taking your lead. Your lead right now is not tie her up, it's guide her someplace so that she can sit down. And so he's following that lead. As far as what the hell just happened, Philippe is not necessarily clued into that.
So in case he hasn't clued in, I'm going to ask again. Juniper, do you not remember what you just did? Do you remember what happened between you and the doctor?
That wasn't me.
Okay. And with that, I'm going to look at Philippe. It wasn't you, she said. And I'm going to keep guiding her.
Are the kids back here still?
Okay. Yeah. Rowan looks over at you, Achira. Now that that's resolved, how about I take control of the keys and I wear them so that everyone can see them?
I think that since you have a gun, I think it would be a really good idea for me to hold on to the keys, since I'm literally the only person here who hasn't grabbed a weapon to point at somebody at this point.
I really like you, Achira. I like the cut of your jib. You have really got brass tacks where it counts. But I'm going to say this once, and I'm going to say it real clearly. The reason that you're going to give me the keys is because I have a gun. And I can tell you right now that you have found them, and we're all clear on where they were. But I would like to know that all of us can see them from this point forward, and that they are not in your possession. So give me the keys, and this is all over.
I really like you too, Rowan, and I do not take well to authority. I didn't in the military, and I'm not about to right now. The doctor had a reason to put them on Aria, and I'm the one that found them. So tell you what, I'm going to hold on to them, and if anybody wants to leave, I will open the door right now.
Maybe
because that's the power of the keys, right?
Maybe
I'll open
that's
the door
right
now.
Maybe that's right. But let me be very, very clear, because obviously not everyone in this very small, very tense room is on the same fucking page. The doctor is now dead because someone didn't tell us where the keys are. If the keys had been on the doctor, I think this might have ended differently. Don't you?
I think it's not fair to blame someone who's only half in the room right now, whether or not they could have said that they had the keys. I don't agree with blaming that person. And Achira's like going to pat Arya, and it's going to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go unlock the door right now. And with Arya, she's just gonna walk towards the front door because she's gonna unlock it.
Rowan watches, does not move to stop you, but is very intent on what you are doing. Kusanagi. You hear the keys rattle. You hear this exchange. Do you do anything when Achira crosses your pathway?
No.
She walks past you and towards the door. You're by the generator still. You know you need medical attention. You're going to need to do a little bit of work before you completely leave this safe house. It would be a lot less sanitary and a lot more dangerous to try to do this out in the tunnels.
I've been waiting to talk to Rowan. I said I wasn't moving from here until I talked to Rowan.
Yeah. And so you hear the rattling of the keys, and then you hear Rowan stepping closer. Lampwick, Juniper, what are the two of you doing?
I'm focusing on her. I'm trying to assess her completely. Right now, I'm trying to learn as much about her as I possibly can because I know I'm going to need to rely on it later. So I'm helping her in. I'm helping her get comfortable, and getting her laid down on the bed, and depending on how exhausted I am after all that, I'm either going to lay down or I'm going to go back out and talk to my people out here.
And what about you, June?
I want to see where the kids are and make sure they're near me.
They're
when I go
following cautiously after Lampwick. They seem to be keeping a distance from you, but they've been acting strange ever since you woke up in that warehouse space, that storehouse deeper in the mines. They seem to be frightened of you, and yet they are very clearly concerned. There's tears streaking across their dirty little faces, and they don't want to seem to be far away from you, but they don't want to be too close either.
Hey, stop. I'm not gonna die, you little shits. Just lay down and take a nap. I'm gonna take a real long nap, I think. And just, we're okay for now, okay? This isn't great, but we'll figure it out. Everyone's here. Just take a freaking, stop crying.
A little hand grabs onto yours, and you hear Kit whisper, "We're glad you're back." And they crawl under the cot beneath you.
I'm going to walk back out, if I can, to check in with the people that are out there.
You step out, however, Kusanagi, Rowan is stepping down the hallway now cautiously. Lampwick, you notice now that Philippe is next to Rowan.
I'm approaching.
Now you're walking behind them. Philippe kind of half turns his head and notices you, and the other two continue to walk. Kusanagi, what do you do when Rowan begins to cross your viewpoint from the open area of the cage that you're in?
Kusanagi uses the generator to kind of stand to his feet. He wants to make sure that Rowan can still see the gun. And then when I know that we can see each other, he says, "Okay, finally somebody who understands what's at stake here. You saw the code too, didn't you? On the cases for the tapes."
All right, friend, you've been hurt, but maybe we should let these
Trust
matters...
me, I am lucid, and this is worth knowing. It's worth knowing now.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't think that you need to talk about it now.
No.
Get away, Lampwick.
Everyone needs to know.
Yeah, you know, I think we're done here for now.
Yeah,
No.
I kind of agree.
Hey, wait. Now you guys are the ones that are saying that everything should be even. You're the one that's mad if the keys are somewhere.
The
somewhere
more
else,
you
so
let
now
this
you're
guy
gonna
talk, the worse
withhold-
this is going to get. And
Now
you know that,
why are
Rowan.
you withholding information
I
from us? What are you
know how
talking
he
about?
works. He just doesn't think that any of us are smart enough to be able to work around it.
No,
Look,
you
here's
think
how it's
you
going
know.
to go.
I'm the only one that's being real here. Come on, what are you talking about? What are you withholding from us?
Lampwick,
We're all trying to
make a
survive.
calm others check, please, with a single black die of difficulty. Achira, you make it to the door. What do? You hear this boiling up behind you.
Chira unlocks the door. It's like
It's a
this is-
massive iron thing, and the keys are each huge. You press the key through, you unlock it in 3 points, and you turn a large lever, pulling backwards. Make a lift pull check for me, please. You are uninjured, that is correct.
Yes.
So you will receive no dice of difficulty in doing this. Lampwick, I am sorry. That is 3 degrees of failure to calm
That is.
anyone in this situation.
All right, you win. Have it your way.
Sweetheart, the thing about me you don't know, I always win. Lampwick, gather your things in the boxes. Meet me back here in a minute. Philippe, you got anything you care about in this safe house, you better grab it. And grab some safety stuff. Also, first aid, half of those MREs, and a thing of water. Kusanagi, we'll take care of your wounds once we get out of here. We're coming with you. And here's my promise to the rest of you. I'll be back. I'm coming back, and I will find you. You may not see that as a kindness right now, but you will eventually. I'm not going to let you die in here. But I can't stay in here with this. She looks down at the doctor and then back to Lampwick and then over to Achira. Damn shame.
It's a real heavy door. It takes a while.
Yeah, Achira, you can't even budge it. Do you have anything to spend on that?
I've got 2 competency points that I can use.
If you
I can-
bring it down to a single failure, you will not have it fully open, but you will have it partially open. Or you can wait.
I'll go ahead and spend them to have it partially open.
By the doorway. Oh, go ahead, Kusanagi, please.
If I'm making my way over there, now getting ready to leave, and I see Achira getting the door partially open, can I come up alongside and help open it the rest of the way?
Yes.
And just look at Achira and just shake my head. Just say, you know, I know you think you've got to have something to control and to stay alive and all this, and I get that. But you're going to have to learn how to read people and how to trust people. Because you're making a lot of mistakes.
This was a safe space. This was a safe moment we could have had. And you know what? Hell is other people.
From behind you, you can see that in a rush, Philippe has grabbed your VCR and the medical supplies, but the boxes were too far scattered out and has left them behind. He's standing next to you now. Rowan is walking down the hallway as well. All right, this is where we part ways for now. Like I said, you'll see me again real soon. I suggest you all get things straight, assuming that when I come back here, there's anything left to get straight. Do you leave with them, Kusanagi?
I do.
You walk out. Do you close the door, Achira?
It looks like everybody else is planning on staying. So yeah, Achira would close the door
You close the door. Do you lock it?
Not all 3 locks, because it was so difficult to open before, so just one of them.
Kusanagi. 2 months earlier, you're making a deal. The sun is shining down upon your face. Upon a gingham blanket spread out before you are a number of VHS clamshells. The man standing before you is smiling broadly, passively turning a set of nunchuck back and forth in his hands. Blockbuster carries himself with a calm assurance. He's the kind of guy who gets things done. He's very strong, very large, cut from steel. This is what we got. I know you've got questions. You've been trailing after me for years now, Kusanagi. And listen, I really, really do like your spunk. I mean, you've got a lot of guts. It shows.
Well, you know, the legends about you, as grand as they are, don't really do you justice. It is an honor to meet a trailblazer such as yourself.
Why don't you pick out a couple things for yourself as well? I like you. I really do. I like to share the generosity that I've been blessed with. And in front of you are a set of very rare, old Japanimation films that you haven't seen since you were 17?
My eyes light up.
There's a copy of Ninja Scroll.
This is like the Holy Grail for me. You understand?
You reach down to take it, and a boot steps onto the tape. I want to be clear. You're not going to find what you're looking for.
I just want to help.
Shut the fuck up! You're not going to find it. It's mine. And that is where we're going to end our session for the night. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.